It's Paul, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up quite imposing sequences for saddle stitch books. To follow on, I'm going to use Acrobat. It's quite imposing and a little bit of InDesign. And again, this computer's old, the software is old, so hopefully it's pretty close to what you're using. Alright, so let's get into it. Actually, first let's talk about saddle stitch books so you know what I'm talking about. I got some pictures I got off the internet. Okay, this one's good. Now, saddle stitch books have to be divisible by 4. Because you get 1, 2, like here, 8 pages. You could have 4 pages, but you get 8 pages, 12 pages, 16 pages. Because you pretty much get 1, 2, 3, the other side's 4. Or you get 1, other side's 2, 3, other side of that page is 4. Then you get 5, the other side of that page is 6, and then back here you get 7 and 8. Here you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Because you got 4 panels per page, which is why it's divisible by 4. So let's look at some other pictures. Here's a picture of saddle stitch books, a stack of them. They've been folded and stitched in the middle. It's a pretty common thing. I'm sure everybody's seen them. It's another picture. So you got 4 pages all inserted, folded and inserted into each other and stapled twice on the binding. And it comes out like that. Another picture. If you open it in the center, you can see where your staples close together. If you go up here, this looks a little confusing, so ignore everything except for these first little one. This is just 1 page. It's like an 11-17 if you folded it in half, an 8.5, 11, like a newsletter, 4-page newsletter. So if you opened it and laid it down flat, page 1 would be on the right, the last page would be on the left. And then when you open it up, you'd have 2 on the left and 3 on the right. And that's pretty straightforward. Then if you had 8 pages, you would just double it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Always divisible by 4. And if it comes down to this last one, you'll notice all the odd pages are on the right. All the even pages are on the left, which is important to note. Now, if you were going to set these up by hand, you might call it zigzagging it. You can set here 1, and then you go here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your red arrows show you which direction to go headed down. And when you get down to 8, you go to 9, and then the black arrows show you which way to go up. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you could do it manual like that if you wanted to. So that's a saddle stitch book. So we have to make sure that the pages are divisible by 4. So let's close that. Let's see, I have one here somewhere. Okay, yeah. Let's use this file. Let's open this that I got somewhere. It's 8.5 by 11, and it's 43 pages. And remember, it's got to be divisible by 4. Let's go to the calculator, and we're going to do 43 divided by 4. 10.75, which means you have 3 pages. You either have 3 pages too many, or you need 1 more. It would need to either be 10 or 11, or 12 or 13, or 14 or 15. You can't have point anything. And it's easier to add pages than to take them away. So it either needs 3 taken away or 1 added to be divisible by 4. So let's click on it. Let's go all the way to the end, and you notice the last page has got something on it. So this would be a saddle stitch book. This would be the inside of the inside of the back cover. So we need to add a page. So we're going to go, because obviously we can't take 3 away, unless there was 3 in here, but let's do it this way. Organize pages, and we'll go down here at the bottom. Move your cursor over here, a line shows up. Click on that line, and we're going to do insert blank page. Yeah, and now you got 44 pages. So close, and we're going to close that, and we're going to save. So now this is divisible by 4. So now let's go to Acrobat. Not like that though. Let's open this back up. Let's go back to plugins. Quite imposing. You can do this, or you can go right to automated sequences. All right, so yeah, we got business cards and business cards that bleed from the other ones. So we're gonna add a new category. Now let's call this one booklets and hit OK. Now, booklets that don't bleed are really easy. So we'll do create new sequence. And really the only thing you have to do is choose booklet. And you only have to, it's going to give you a bunch of windows. You only have to make one change to all these windows. So hit next. You don't have to change any of that. Hit next. Right here, saddle stitched. Click that. Hit next. Ignore all that. Hit next. Ignore that. Hit next. Hit next. And we're going to name it. We're going to say booklet no bleed. We're going to put it on advanced and hit finish. So if we hit this, there's our last blank page we added. Now remember, all your odd pages are on the right. So page number 1 is on the right. And as we go through it, it has all been paginated. And if you go all the way to the end, to the center, you get page 10 and page 11. And that's correct. And that's how you do one that doesn't have bleeds. So let's close. Don't save. So that's easy. Now let's do one that has bleeds, which is not that easy. Well, it depends. There's a bit more math involved. So we're going to go new. We're going to make it as like a sample document and choose document. Now this is going to be 8 pages. The size is going to be 8.5 by 11. Ignore that stuff. Margin 0. And the bleed is going to be 0.125. Slug 0. And hit OK. So we got 8.5, 11, 8 pages, blank, with a 0.125 or 1/8 bleed all the way around. So let's go down here. There we go. And let's choose master page, which I think is called something else by now. And let's choose our text box. Now, instead of going right to the white area, we're going to go all the way to the red bleed line. And we're going to click and drag all the way down to the other bleed boxes. Okay, and you can see our cursor. Now, we're going to go to type. And we're going to go all the way down to insert special character. Then we're going to choose markers, and current page number. And now you can see that turned to an A. Now if we go down here, and we choose page 1, you can see that it turns into a 1. On page 2, it's a 2. 3, 4, 5. This is how you number books. Because you're not going to go to every page and put a number on it by hand. It'll take you forever. Especially if you had a book that's like hundreds of pages. So this is how you would number it. So now let's go back to the master page. Let's highlight that, and we're going to center it. So we can use this to center it. If you choose that, it'll be all the way to right. This is all the way to left, and this is center. Now we want to center it vertically. To do that, we're going to go to Object, Text Frame Options. You can also hit Command B. Or if you're on a PC, you could hit Control B. Usually the Command button can be replaced by the Control button if you're on a PC. So choose that. Down here where it says vertical justification, right now it is aligned at the top. And we're going to choose center. Hit OK. Now we get it in the center. That's kind of small. So let's go highlight here the size. Choose 100. There. Now you can see it. So now if we go to page 1, page 1, page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? All right, now let's go back to master page because we want to add something that bleeds. So we're going to choose your cursor. Now you notice it's outside of the 8.5, 11. And we're going to choose a background color. So make sure you're not on the stroke. You're on inside. We'll just choose magenta. That's fine. As long as it goes outside, it bleeds all the way around. Let's go back to page 1. So this is our document we made. So 8F11, 8 pages, bleeds, numbered, and that's it. Now let's save our document. Don't need to call it anything, whatever it is. Untitled 12, that's fine. Save it to the desktop. Save. Now we're going to export the file that we're going to use from here. So we're going to go to File, Export, and Desktop, Adobe PDF Print, and Save. And we're going to use our crops and bleeds. If you didn't do the other videos, you can start with press quality, and then you can go to marks and bleeds. You can choose crop marks, and you can click up a couple times. Make sure you link so you get them all sides, and then you can export. Now we're done with this. Close it, save. So this is the file we just made, the InDesign file, and this is the file we just exported. All right, close that. So let's open this. Actually, first let's go to the other one. Let's go back and look at where we were before. Now, remember, odd pages are all on the right, even pages are all on the left. So the odd pages have to butt up against the even pages. So the odd pages are going to butt up on the left side. The even pages are going to butt up against it on the right side. So you don't want any bleed on the odd pages on the left. You don't want any bleed on the even pages on the right. That's important. All right, so close that. Now let's go back to our file that we made and open that. All right. First thing we're going to do, actually, let's do something else first. If you come down here, you see where it says 9.08 by 11.58. That's not good enough. We want 4 decimal places, 4 numbers after the decimal place. So close that. And there might be a way to find it in Acrobat, but I'm not sure where it is, or I can't find it. But there's another way. Go back to InDesign. Just choose it. Then go New, File, New, Document. File, New, Document. None of this matters. Whatever it is, just hit it. Now we go to File, and we're going to go down to Place, which brings files into your InDesign document. And we're going to bring in the PDF of the file we just made. And just dump it anywhere because it doesn't matter. Now you notice up here, your width and your height. Now 9.08 is now 9.0833. And 11.58 is now 11.5833. So all you got to remember is 33. You got to add that after whatever number is in the document or whatever. All right, I'll explain that. So now let's close this because we don't need this. Now let's go back to our file. Okay, so 9.08 is really 9.0833 and 11.58 is really 11.5833. So remember that. Now let's go to, we're going to do create new sequence. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop off all the left sides of the odd numbered pages, pretty much right to this crop mark. So from this crop mark to the gray area has to go. So we're going to do that by going Trim and Shift. Let's double click that. Create a new document instead of modifying this one. No. Entire document, yes. And we're going to do odd pages only. Now let's go to Next. What we're going to do is we're going to trim off 1 or more pages. Yes. Now on this, we're going to do the left side because we're only doing the odd pages and we want to chop off all the left sides. Question is, what are we going to chop off? Now let's go to our calculator where we have to do math. There's no way out of it. All right, so remember the width was 9.08 and 33. What we want to cut off First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna divide this by 2. So this is your size from where the gray and the white meet to where the gray and the white meet. That's this size. So we're gonna divide that by 2 first. And that's what we get. So from wherever the center of this document is, all the way to where the white meets the gray is 4.54165. Now what we want to do is we want to cut it right at this crop mark. So we know that from this crop mark to this crop mark is 8.5. Half of 8.5 is 4.25. So if we deduct 4.25 from this number, that will give us from this crop mark to the gray area. So we're going to go minus 8.25 and hit OK. That's wrong. All right, start over. 9. Oh, nope. We're going to do 9.0833 divided by 2 is that, and we're going to do minus 4.25 equals. Okay, that's better. This is the number. So from this crop mark to where the white meets the gray is 0.29165. So we are going to chop that off the left side of all the odd pages. So we're going to go 0.29165. Hit next. The creep refers to if you've got a lot of pages in your saddle stitch book, the pages towards the center will stick out further on the edge, and this would adjust it so those pages that stick out, it will pull the images back towards the binding, so they won't get cut off, or they won't get cut funny. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to skip that right now because that's too much to get into. So we'll skip that. We'll hit finish. And we'll hit next. And what are we going to call this? We're going to call it Booklet Bleeds. And we're going to change it to advance. And we hit finish. Now, let's play it. Now we're on Booklet Bleeds. Let's play that and see what happens. Now we cut it right at the crop mark, which is what we want. Next page is an even page. We didn't touch any of the even pages. Only the odd pages. Next odd page, chopped off at the left, right at the crop. Same through the whole document. So go all the way back to your document. And we can, let's go to zoom. Marquee zoom. Let's zoom in, right click and drag and zoom in right there. And you notice we cut right through that crop mark. That's why we wanted that 0.33 or the 33 at the end there. Because we want to chop right through there. We want to be that accurate. So let's go back to view. Zoom, we'll do fit height. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to all the even pages and we're going to chop off the right. So we're going to basically do the same exact thing, just on the other side. So let's do edit, and we're going to choose trim and shift again, because you can fill this up with the same thing if you want to. So we're going to use another trim and shift. Create new document, no. We're going to do even pages, entire document, but the even pages. Next, trim off, and we're going to do the right. And it's going to be the same number that we chose for the other side, because it's the same amount on both sides. So we're going to choose 0.29165. And we're going to hit OK, hit next. Creep will skip, and hit next, finish. Do you want to overwrite? Yes. Okay. And now, oops. Okay. Now this document, we already ran it on one side, so we have to close it without saving it and reopening, because it's going to run everything again. And if it's already cut, it's going to cut it again, and it'll be wrong. So close this. Don't save. Reopen it. So now we're back to our original document. And let's run our sequence. Hit play. Okay, so what we want, the odd pages, they're all chopped to the crop mark on the left. The even pages are all chopped to the crop mark on the right. So it's like that through the whole book. That's what we want. Because this is going to butt up against a page on the right. And this is going to butt up against a page that's on the left. Next thing we do is to paginate it. So we're going to go to, or bookletize it, or make it into a booklet, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to edit our sequence, and we're going to choose booklet. Just hit next. Same thing as the other thing. You only need to choose that one thing, saddle stitch. Everything else you can just hit next, 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 finish, next, finish. You want to overwrite what's there? Yes. So hit OK. And now we have to close this without saving because we already ran part of the sequence, and it would be wrong if we ran it on this. So don't save. Reopen our file, and then run it. All right, so you notice it's paginated, and it's pushed right up against each other, and there's no gutter in the middle. You get that one crop mark, you get a dead line right through the middle. So if you go to the next page, 2 and 7, which is correct. Then you get 6 and 3, that's where it gets confusing to a lot of people. And then 4 and 5, which would be your center page where you would see your staples, the end of your staples. All right, so this is right. The only thing is, it's a weird size, and I don't like that. So we're going to fix that next. Now, just like the other thing, it's not 17.58, it's 17.5833. So let's go in here, we're going to edit our sequence. We're going to go back down the bottom, and we're going to choose trim and shift again. New document, no. And this time we want all pages, not the even and odd. We want to do everything because this is going to be on every page. We're going to, pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to, right where the magenta meets the white, that's where we're going to cut it, all the way around. So we need to know this white area. What is that white area? What is that measurement? That's what we need to find out. So we're going to hit next. We're going to trim off. This time we're going to hit all sides together. So what is it? So let's go back to our calculator. Let's clear that. So it was, what did we say, 17.58, and then throw in the 3.3. And just like before, we're going to divide it by 2. Equals. So from this crop mark all the way to where the white meets the gray is this number. And we want it to end at the magenta. So we know that from here, from this crop mark in the center to this crop mark here is 8.5. And we chose a 0.125 bleed. That's from this crop mark to the pink. That's your 0.125. So we want this, from this crop mark to this crop mark, and we want this. So from here to here is 8.5. If you add 0.125, that's 8.625. So we're going to take this number, and we're going to minus 8.625 equals. And that's our number. This white area right here, that's the width. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to choose 1.1665 and hit next. No creep. No finish. Next. Finish. Do you want to overwrite? Yes. And that, so we're all done with it. And we can't run it on something we already ran it. So close that. Don't save. And reopen it. So we're now back to our original document. This is what somebody would send you in. And then you would just hit play. And now it's chopped off right to that line. And you get a standard size. You get 17.25 by 11.25, which is what we want. So it's paginated. It's got a bleed. It's got a standard size bleed. It's got crops. And the pagination's correct. So it's all good. So let's close that because we're all done. Now, let's go to, I get some other ones. I get some other books here. Now this one's a different size. Again, weird size because of crop marks. Now, the cool thing about the thing we just set, the sequence we just set up, is that no matter what size your document is, this area on the outside will always be the same, unless you get like too small, I think. But for most documents, this will work. So it's that size. You know, it's not 8.5, 11 like the one we were working on, but it doesn't matter because we're still working with the outside area. So you just hit play. And there you go. It's done. It's 12 1/4. It's 9 1/4. It bleeds. It's paginated. And it looks good. Close that. Don't save it. Then we get another one. There's another book I grabbed somewhere. This is another different size. 5.58 by 8.08. I have no idea what size that is. Doesn't matter. Just hit it. Same thing. So that looks good. The inside, everything bleeds, crops, bleeds, paginated. And that's how it's supposed to be. So anytime you get a document that looks like that's just exported with crops and bleeds like we exported, which is a standard way of doing it, you can use this on it and it will work no matter what size it is, unless it gets too small, because then I think it changes if it gets too small. Now there's another issue. If some people, when they export, you go to File, Export, and we'll save, it will overwrite the documents that's there. And they come down here, they like to choose everything. So if you hit export, close it. Now before we were dealing with, now you can see, you got a lot more stuff going on here. Now you got color bars. These outside crop marks are called bleed bars, or bleed marks or something. Shows you where your bleed goes to. And these are called registration marks, and down here you get some text now. So before, a document was 9.08 by 11.58. Now it's different. And what's different, the problem is the white area is now a different size because to fit all this other stuff in. So if you hit it, it doesn't work. So your marks in the middle are wrong. I mean, it paginated it. That looks fine. But the gutter in the middle is wrong because the math doesn't work, because the math we start with is now different. So you can use the same formula and solve that and create a new one that works with this one. Actually, that'd be a good challenge to see if you can take one with all marks and using the formula we just went through, if you can set up a sequence that works on this. Because I have one somewhere that works. You just have to change the math a little. So see if you can do that. That will be an interesting challenge. I think that's the end of this one. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.